after this crazy week. And we got a new leader in the neighborhood, and it's Mr. Rodgers. Hello, friends. Aaron Rodgers now the MVP favorite at -250. Mahomes in second at +220, followed by Josh Allen in third at +1200. Brandon, one game to go. Who deserves the MVP, Rodgers or Mahomes?
Yeah, Jenna, this is a big deal. You know, it's an honor to win the MVP title, right? There's a lot of guys that's done it before, and those guys usually become Hall of Famers. So this is a big deal. So I wanted to paint a picture for you guys and really lay out my MVP hierarchy when it comes to the MVP race. So let's take a look at how we had it last week, all right? When you look at this thing, we had Russell Wilson. That was on the back of the jet ski on the tube. And what we talked about last week was that's an unsafe place to be, because at any moment, you know, the guy that's leading can just shake and turn and do whatever, and you're up in the air. And that's what happened to Russell Wilson. We talked about Travis Henry. I mean, not Travis Henry, excuse me, Derrick Henry. I played with Travis Henry. But you got Derrick Henry. This guy, if he goes for 2,000 yards, this is what we talked about. He should be the MVP because there's only been 6 guys that do it in the history of this league. Big Ben. Oh, what happened to Big Ben? Big Ben was hot. Kevin Wiles, my buddy, talked about this guy being a part of this discussion, so we threw him in, but then all of a sudden, he went from the fishing boat to in the water without a life jacket. Josh Allen playing lights out. He wanted to join the party. You have Patrick Mahomes. And I got to say this. Last week, I said there's nothing that Patrick Mahomes can do to lose it at this point. Now let's fast forward to this week after Week 16 outing by these guys.
Oh, my God.
What do we have here? No Russell Wilson, Nick Wright. Where's Russell Wilson? That is now Devontae Adams jumping into this discussion. You got Devontae Adams there.
Oh, one of Rodgers.
Look at your boy Josh Allen that you say is so inconsistent. He is now back into the MVP discussion with all the odds makers out in Vegas.
Driving right into the wake. Exactly
you have Derrick Henry. Right. They swapped. Derrick Henry and Josh Allen swapped. Now, Derrick Henry's like, look, I didn't go for over 150 yards, so now I'm out of it. Big Ben is just like, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to get back on track. And then you have Brian. Brian, you said it a couple weeks ago, and we laughed at you. You said Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. And I said last week, Aaron Rodgers, there's no way that this guy can win MVP now. It's Patrick Mahomes' thing to lose. He has to totally implode. But now you have Aaron Rodgers in front of the Jets. This is the MVP race hierarchy. What do you guys think?
You know, Brandon, I think you're absolutely right. But I want to take you guys on a little history lesson. About 6 weeks ago, Nick was yelling and screaming, Patrick Mahomes, more touchdowns, less interceptions. Brandon was screaming, Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, MVP. 3 weeks ago, Nick was still screaming, more touchdowns, less interceptions for Patrick Mahomes. And guess what, Brandon, after Russell Wilson kind of struggled a little bit, started throwing the interceptions, he got off that Russell Wilson boat, and now he said, you know what, Pap, I'm going Patrick Mahomes. Now, yesterday, baby, little Brian and I are sitting watching my favorite show, First Things First, and first thing in the morning. And guess what our friend Nick Wright said? That Aaron Rodgers can steal, I'm talking about steal the MVP if they win this weekend. If they win this weekend. Let me tell you what Aaron Rodgers has done over the last 5 weeks. Over the last 5 weeks, 15 touchdowns, passer rating over 120. He's completing more than 75% of his passes. Over the last 5 weeks, that offense has been almost unstoppable, scoring over 30 points in 4 of the last 5 games. 2 of those games, they have over 40 points. And then we look back at what the Chiefs have done. Look at last week. They barely struggled to beat the Falcons, who aren't very good. They only scored 17 points. And guess what? They scored 17 points against the same team that the Packers put up 30. There's no question who the MVP is. You off the boat as far as the touchdowns because Aaron Rodgers is dominating the touchdowns. He has less turnovers. Nick Wright, this is very, very easy. Aaron Rodgers has been the MVP all season long. You're just late to the party in seeing it.
All right, let me take a deep, soothing, cleansing breath.
Take 2.
We don't have that kind of time, Brian.
Folks, I have entertained this as a discussion for the last 8 weeks out of being my natural good-natured self and a good sport to the show.
That's true.
But now I'm legitimately angry because on one hand, you have the unanimously accepted best player alive who is first, second, or third in every single passing category, is going to have an 8-to-1 touchdown interception ratio or better, throw for 5,000 yards, is the defending Super Bowl MVP, and his team is 15-1. That's on one hand. And on, oh wait, there is no other hand, because there shouldn't be another hand, because that's the MVP. The hell are we doing? Everyone's going crazy. Well, one guy's the best player. Everyone knows he's the best player. His team's been the best. They haven't lost in 3 months.
Everyone doesn't agree with that.
Arguably the best statistical resume. And it's like, well, there's one guy who might be having a slightly better statistical season. Might be. But his team's worse. And oh, by the way, it's the weapons. Except the other guy has Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. This is insane. This is Wilds. You've been saying it, and now I'm starting to believe it. This is Karl Malone in '97. I can't believe it. And listen, I'm obviously not a Jordan guy, but it's just gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. I can't believe it. They're stealing the MVP from my guy. They're taking it from him.
Okay.
There should be an investigation. I need someone to call Bill Barr. I think he's got time on his hands. I need a special counsel because they're gonna steal it from my guy. They're gonna take it from him, Wilds. I can feel it.
They're not stealing it.
Let's hear it, Wilds.
Brian,
It's stolen.
do you feel, to Nick's point about the Karl Malone Jordan thing, that throw all the stats out the window, that if you just gave everyone truth serum, it was like, hey, who's having the best year? And you didn't get a chance to look at any stats, or who's the best player. Don't you think that most people would just be like, yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes and we all know it? They haven't lost since God knows when, last year at some point. And we know they're in every game because of this guy. And even when they're like run plays that don't show up on Patrick Mahomes' stats, we know that like the threat of Patrick Mahomes makes everybody better, makes the whole organization better. Does that sway you at all to the Patrick Mahomes camp?
No, that doesn't sway me at all. It actually sways me against our friendship, Kevin, because the truth is this, that if you look at the substance, Patrick Mahomes has flash. I mean, he plays well. We're talking about, some of the best quarterbacks that have ever played the game. But he has flash. We understand that. Aaron Rodgers just goes out there and just throws 3-4 touchdowns every single game. That's what he does. He doesn't have to be flashy. He doesn't have to do these spin moves.